The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown.
Do you ever feel like you're being watched? Do you believe in cryptids? Have you ever seen one?
Supernatural or cryptid? What is it? Are they friend or foe? Oh, what's that?
Have you ever had an experience with something unidentifiable?
Are you afraid to tell your story?
Don't be. So we're here to listen.
We are the Southern Appalachia Sasquatch Seekers.
And we're live.
And we are. And I got my comments. So far, so good, everybody.
Happy Sunday to everybody. Thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you very much. And most of y'all are going to know our guest. He thinks he's not very popular or very interesting, but we do. So we asked him to come on because we love him, Cam Buckner. And I don't know what we'll get into and what we'll talk about. But if you have questions, you know what to do. Put it all in caps for us so we can get an answer from Cam. First of all, Cam, you got anything you want to say to start with?
No, just other than I'm so lucky that people think I'm interesting when I'm really not. But I think the reason I was telling you that before the show was because I don't really have many opinions on cryptids and things like that. And I've said this 1,000 times on my podcast, but I just love the stories. I like being around good people like you all. And that's what I like about it. My interest in Bigfoot or Dogman or whatever is like 4 or 5 notches down from the people and the stories. And when we all get together, the good food and the laughs and just all of that's what I love about it. So when I say I'm not interesting, I just don't have a lot to say about about cryptids, I guess. So,
well, we're more about that and everything than just the cryptid search and all that stuff. But go ahead if you don't care, and go ahead and tell them so that everybody will know about your show, Change Venue.
Okay, so my name's Cameron Buckner, and I'm the host of what it's still up, the Dixie Cryptid YouTube channel. And it's just a podcast is what it is. And I tell stories that people send me, real life stories that people send me. And I read them on the podcast. That's basically it. About 60% of them, I have a little bit of commentary at the end, and I thank the writer for sending it. And so that's pretty much it. That covers my love of the stories. But as some people know, my channel was one that got purged from YouTube, so it's still there. You can go over there and listen to, I've got almost 1,000 videos up. You can listen to those stories there, but that channel is eventually going to be deleted because they're making money off my channel, and I'm not going to let them make money off my channel and not pay me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep it up probably through the end of the summer. But all those same stories I upload to the podcast network or the podcast universe. That's what I call it. So that covers Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any podcast app that you have on your phone, your tablet, or your desktop. Just search for Dixie Cryptid. The actual name of the podcast is called the What If It's True podcast, because I read these stories, and back when I named that podcast, my wife I couldn't think of a name, and she was like, well, what is the first thing you think of when you read like a really wild story? And I said, well, I think it's kind of weird, but then I asked myself, what if it's true? She goes, that's your name of your podcast right there.
Good
So
job.
I named it What If It's True? What if all these stories are true? What if 5% of the stories are true? That's what is fascinating to me. And they don't have to be about cryptids. They could be about, I read a story, I guess a couple of weeks ago. I was just thumbing around the internet late one night, and I came across this story about these couples who were up in Canada fishing. They had been flown in. This was back in the mid 70s, when they didn't have communications. They would fly you in, drop you off, and then pick you up a week later, and there was no communication.
Mm-hmm.
They were harassed by bears for days. They had to get in the boats and go sleep out in the boats. And so, I mean, stories like that, I'd love to do that on the podcast. And then I started thinking about that story, and I'm thinking, what if that's a cover for Sasquatch? What if they were actually, oh, I'm looking at myself, I'm so much taller than all of y'all. Let me see if I can get this.
No, you're fine. We're short
Now,
anyway.
I'm going to go like this.
No, you're fine.
I thought, what if that was a cover for Sasquatch? What if they were actually harassed by monsters for a week? And so the name of the podcast is What If It's True? And you can just, any podcast app, it's kind of a long name, but What If It's True? Punch that in and it'll be right up there at the top. And I've got 500 or 600 episodes on there. So, and I put 3 up this week. I put one up Thursday, Friday, and yesterday. So there's 3 brand new ones up, and they're all 30 to 45 minutes long. So that's where you can find me. I'd rather you listen there because I get paid there. If you listen on YouTube, I don't get paid. So,
Right.
but I'll say this on if you listen on Spotify, you're going to have a lot less ads, unless they're not running ads on my YouTube videos. So on the regular podcast app, you're going to have less ads. It's a lot less drain on your phone, and some people are on data plans. It's so much less data just to listen to a podcast. And I'll say one last thing, then I'll let y'all talk. But it's there are so many great shows, even if doesn't matter what you're into, true crime, gangland kind of stuff, politics, whatever you want to hear. There are thousands of shows on the podcast, in the podcast universe, that are not on YouTube or Rumble or anywhere else. They're just audio only podcasts. And now some of them are not very good, but some of them are great. I have found probably a dozen that I love, and I like the true crime stuff. I'll tell you, you guys know Brian Sharp?
The name sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar.
Brian King Sharp. He does a podcast called Bigfoot Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's only on the podcast network. So, I mean, I think he tried to upload a few times on YouTube. I don't know what he did after that. Brian's a real nice guy. And he does interviews, Sherry, like you do. So Anyway,
There's
10 minutes of me talking about myself. I'm sorry.
No. I'm listening to you. I'm taking care of the comments.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
making.
listening to you exclusively.
What about your Steve Lilly stuff? Where you at? I got up to like the halfway or third of and I don't know the books. What's going on with it?
Yeah, I'm writing a book, but that podcast is still up on YouTube, and they are paying me for that. But it's a small podcast, so it had about a quarter of the audience that Dixie Cryptid has, and I'm writing a new story right now, and I should have it up in the next 2 weeks. I'm just going to keep writing them, and at the same time, I'm writing a novel, and I'll be honest with you. I've been working on this novel. It's going to be a 50 or 60,000 word novel, which is kind of just a little shy of a big novel. But I have been spending so much time trying to get. I want to write well. I want to write really good sentences and words and all that stuff. And I think I'm gonna loosen up on that a little bit and just push to get it finished. And so I should have that finished in the next 30 or 45 days. I don't know how long it takes to format it and get it published, but so I'll be publishing a new Steve Lilly book, and the audio book will come with it on Audible, and I'm working on that. Hopefully by September I'll have that done.
Okay.
And then so right now I've got 20 episodes up on Steve Lilly. It's called the name of the channel is called the Steve Lilly Journals. If you just type that in, it'll go right to it. And it's also on Spotify. They're two separate podcasts. So I interrupted you.
I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna say I got to the point where you had to stop at that, and then I swear there's so much of everybody's stuff that you want to go, so you just got to make the rounds, But I love the books. My mind just went
Steve
blank.
Lilly stories.
Yeah, no, not the Steve, but I was talking about Gary is talking about. He made a comment up there about how good they are, and they are really good books. If you've not heard any of them, go start listening to them because they are excellent. Everybody loves the Steve Lilly.
It's all fiction. It's all none of it's just for fun. If you just want a good listen, when you're going on a trip or just hanging around at night and you don't want to watch TV, the stories are action packed. They're full of funny people. These guys are Bigfoot hunters, and they're based out of Memphis. And so all these guys were kind of raised in the Delta. And people ask me, like, how did you come up with Steve Lilly's personality? And I just tell people, I'm in the steel business, the structural. So I'm around iron workers, or I'm not anymore, but I used to be all the time. And he's just a composite of 30 different guys I've met through the years that are real funny. They're just real clever, practical guys. And you just pick up on how they are and the things they say. And I just kind of put them all in Steve Lilly.
That's awesome.
Donna, talk to Cam just a minute. I got to go get the TV set for Jim. He can't see the show.
I just seen this, Cam, and I'm going to show it again because I agree, and most everybody in here agrees with this. It is so awesome.
I can't read it. I can't read it on my little screen.
It says I could listen to Cam read advertisements. You could make a career just doing that. You just got the voice for it and the personality for it. But everybody
that's what I'm talking about. People are so nice to me on my Dixie Cryptid channel. Mm-hmm. And even though that channel's going away, I'm working on another one. I hopefully have up the first or 2 or 3 videos within the next month. And I'm going to be pouring the steam to that one just because I like doing YouTube. So I'm going to give it another try and see if I can gather an audience. But that's what I'm talking about. That's why I like this community is people are just so nice, They
are. Everybody's just so nice. And I mean, it's like a family, but without the fussing.
Yes.
It's what it amounts to, And I mean, I'm just amazed. I've told my husband many a times he never was into this. And then whenever our daughter passed away last year, he started coming with me to the meet and greets and a few little things. And now he's interested, and he's actually heard some sounds and stuff too. So he's like, I don't know, maybe there is something to this. So
the last meet and greet, just what was it, last month, 2 months ago?
yeah.
I left a day early. Did anything happen Saturday night?
I didn't hear anything. I think some of them heard some things, but
I think there was some.
But I didn't hear anything. But I'm so tired at night when we're camping. When I get in bed, I'm gone.
Yep, Bobby, you're right.
I love that camper y'all built. I think it's awesome.
It's the best. I'm telling you. I've told everybody, don't go buy a camper, build it. And I mean, it's perfect for us.
You see mine behind me? I wish I could build one that big, but
No.
but just for weekends and stuff, yours is perfect. Perfect.
Well, we had a factory camper, and we were just going to tear it all to pieces going in where we went. So we sold it. Mark and Rebecca bought it actually, and because we didn't use it, but a couple of times is all we were ever out in it. And so we decided, Jim's been a carpenter all his life, and he said, I'll just build this one, and it's perfect, For Donna sleeps with us if Daryl doesn't go and take theirs, and she sleeps on one side. We've got two sides, the bunk's like, and she sleeps on the top, and I sleep under the bottom, and Jim sleeps on this one over here.
Yep.
So three of us, you just sleep in there anyway,
Yeah.
So,
but sometimes
it's perfect.
Us with the stripper pole.
Yep. Yep, I love that camper. I thought about it all the way home, thinking, how can I build me one like that? So,
they did a great job.
We just took like I said, I'm not a carpenter. I think I could build it. It's so simple, but it's just, but I have to keep putting clear coats on it though because of the weather. Because I wanted to do it out of wood, but it's only got one sheet of like the paneling on it, and then I needed that so I could draw. But we may end up doing metal on the outside, but I have to do all those drawings again, and I don't want to do that. So I just keep clear coating it.
Have y'all noticed any of the joints loosening up from traveling with it?
We use screws and everything. Everything with screws, no nails.
Yeah.
So that's probably why. And the roof is rubber. He put a rubber roof on it and just put a trim around it to hold it on. We haven't had any leaks, and it's the third year I think in Donna we've used it.
I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
And no leaks. Now we keep it under an awning here, but it's out in the weather when we're out. And
is it on a 12 or 14-foot trailer?
I think it's 12. Pretty sure it's 12. But I'll check and make sure and get back to you. Is anybody got any questions you want before we get kind of into everything here? Bobby said that's why I say Cam's voice is like butter. Yeah, Cam thinks he's nothing important. He does not realize the joy and the excitement and fun that he's given to so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not just saying that and not trying to embarrass him, but
no,
your stories are just awesome. The Steve Lilly
thank
stuff.
you.
I mean,
and you've got the voice to go with it too. That makes a big difference. Somebody can write a story, and if they can't read it correctly, and you don't get the feeling out of it, it's not any good. But
you have to be a storyteller.
Well, I have an editor, and she cleans them up a little bit, and she knows exactly how I cadence stories, and she edits them that way. She does not change. No, it's I heard something. Rebecca is her name. She's an author. Neoma's an author too, but Neoma got so busy with her family and her grandkids and all that there wasn't enough time. So Rebecca, who lives in Europe, is my editor, and she's a young wife. They've got 2 little children. She's got a great husband. We get on WhatsApp and talk to each other a lot. And she's an American girl. She's from Texas, but she married a guy over there, and she's in one of the safest countries in the world. Anyway, she's so smart. She's so smart. Matter of fact, she started a website, and this is the first time I've talked about this. She started a website, and it has a map on it of every location there has been of every story I've done. This isn't every story I've done, just since she started editing. And the map is covered with, it's a Google map, and it's covered with, if you want to go see it, it's at bigfootsawme.com. bigfootsawme.com. And so if someone had a Dogman experience, there's a pin there, and it'll say Dogman. And if someone had a poltergeist experience, there'll be a pin there. And it goes from east to west coast, north to south, down into Mexico, way up into Canada. The dots everywhere.
Oh,
So
that's
she did
interesting.
an amazing job on it. So yeah,
It's not just your stuff. It's all the sightings she's heard about, or is
no,
it
it's just my stuff. Yeah, it's just what if it's true podcast. Yeah.
Gary Spike said Cam's reading of other people's books are great too. I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's listened to those wild hunt books and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'd like to do some more of those, and I've got a couple sitting on my computer that I could do right now. But I tell you what, I'm really anxious to get another YouTube channel started, and my new YouTube channel is going to be vastly different than the one that I had, Dixie, that I had for 9 years. You're going to see me in the whole video. It's still going to be storytelling based. It's not going to be exclusively Bigfoot. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to do different, because I have to follow the rules that YouTube sets out.
Yeah.
See, they changed them on us 8 years ago, and going all the way back to when YouTube first opened up, before Google even owned it. You could do anything on YouTube, anything you wanted. But now they're trying to please advertisers, and so they think the content that myself and some of these creepypasta, I don't know if y'all ever listen to those or not, but they're just voices. They're faceless channels. I would get on there every once in a while and do a video talking to people, but 95% of it is just you hear my voice, which I always thought was great. So I would just buy the B-roll. I would just pick out 10 or 20 video clips that are 10 seconds long and just loop them all through the video. Because to me, what difference did it make what you were looking at? The whole thrust of the channel is the audio experience. They don't like that. They don't want you putting B-roll or AI images or screen or what they call them, slideshows. So they see that as low effort content, and they don't like it. But here's the thing, and I'm very happy about this. They got a few of the people in the Bigfoot cryptid genre, me being one of them, but they didn't get most of them. Most of the people are still, that they did the same thing I did. They're still monetized. They're still going strong. So, but here's why I think they got me. When you hit, as a YouTube creator, when you hit 100,000 subscribers, your income level jumps. Not much, not just a ton, but so in other words, if I was making, $1,500 a month off of YouTube, the minute you get 100,000 subscribers, it might go to $1,750. You get a bigger share of the revenue split,
Right.
and then the more subscribers you get, the higher it goes. And if you get to the point where your channel isn't growing, which mine had, that's what happened to mine. my channel was not growing. I was losing viewers, losing views, and I knew it. I could see it. I could see it on the down. I could see the graph. We have all kind of analytics we can look at, but there was really nothing I could do different with the channel. So I just kept doing what I was doing. But they were hitting people that were in that subscriber lane to where the revenue share was greater to the content creator than it was to YouTube, and they just wiped a lot of those people out.
Right.
I'm not mad at, and here's another thing. That is when YouTube paid a lot of attention to subscriber counts. They don't do that anymore. So if you're fighting for subscribers, you're fighting the wrong battle. Look, I could teach people how to do YouTube all day long, what to do, what not to do. But I knew the shelf life on Dixie Cryptid had run its course. And it didn't bother me because it's just like, Seinfeld, it ran its course. MASH ran its course. I mean, heck, I got 8 or 9 years out of Dixie Cryptid. Who could ask for any more than that? But I see it as a opportunity to do something new, and it's kind of challenging. And I'm coming back under another channel, and I'll announce it. Then you can have me on, and we'll talk about the new channel. So
hey, it's a date. Just let us know.
Billy, Wild Billy, our friend, he said when he first got into the group of people several years back, Cam Buckner was the guy I called home and told my wife, who was my camp neighbor. He said he was amazed at what an awesome guy you were. But see, that's the thing about everybody in this group. Nobody feels like they're better than anybody or nothing. We're just a bunch of friends that get together and share information and things like that, and the get-togethers. That's you see each other on the podcast and stuff, but you don't get to be with them. A few times when we go on the trips, and it's getting to be a headache. I know Spencer had a lot of problems getting the last one set up through the area, the area that we were going to, and I don't know what all that's about, but they're going to lose a lot of money. I mean, he had to pay insurance and everything just because it was large, and we never have any trouble, never.
No.
But
there are groups that are not that nice.
I'm sure they do have some trouble out of some of them.
Yeah, there's probably hundreds of groups like that all across the country. And some of them are not. To me, this group of people that, if there's any way I can go to a camp out, I'm going every time. I think I missed the Talladega one. I really wanted to go to that, but I was working. I was on a deadline. I couldn't get away.
Yeah.
I brought my grandson this time.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
He had the best time. He is such a goofy kid. But he's the sweetest boy you could ever meet. And he talked about that camp out for 2 weeks. Had his own tent, cooking. He was cooking people food. He brought all kind of Spam and Vienna sausages, and he was cooking stuff up. He warmed up a bunch of those better cheddar hot dogs,
Uh-huh.
and he brought buns, and he was just like handing them out to people. He was in heaven at that campsite. When are we going to do that again? I'm like, they may have one this fall. Maybe we can go this fall. So
Bigfoot fans 33, Cindy, she said your grandson was so sweet, and yes, he was, and very polite. He was a good young man.
He was very, very nice.
Got a good job with him.
He's goofy. But what teenager isn't goofy?
Oh,
but he's mature too. He's mature and responsible. That's the the good thing.
You will never meet a happier boy than Noah. Oh, yeah. He is the happiest. He's just like every day is a big adventure for him. That's why I love being around him.
Oh yeah.
but he doesn't latch on to me or his dad or his mom. Like he had his e-bike with him. He put 50 miles on that bike just in 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Just riding
doubt it.
around there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Bill, you're right, Bill. Noah is a very nice young man, and he's one of the crew now, most definitely.
And I know Solomon enjoyed him being there too, because he
Yes.
had his bike too, and they, he got to ride with him and everything. He just kind of deserted me and Donna this trip because he had no one there.
He had no clue there, yeah.
He didn't need us. I'm getting down to my
No,
question.
he's a good young man. We talked to him and Stephen very polite. I was really tickled to meet him.
I lost one of my things here.
hey, Donna, if I'm talking too much, just tell me to shut up.
No,
You talk. No. Why would I say that? I'm listening to you and I'm trying to do the comments and I'm watching the comments, and so no, you talk all you want to, buddy. I love the voice. I just love the voice. It's so soothing.
Do you still get letters from people a lot and stuff about like you used to, like people saying they saw this and saw that?
Not as many, but I get 4 or 5 a week now. I used to get 50 a week. But going back, if I looked at my inbox now, I've still got over 1,000. And I'm gonna do every one of them.
But
I'm gonna keep doing those on the What If It's True podcast on the podcast universe, and I'm gonna do them all,
Okay.
Lord willing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just don't
Okay.
know, do you?
now we know you're not a researcher. Make that plain to everybody, because everybody doesn't know you. But have you ever gone out researching with people at all? Like,
I've been a couple of times with the Bigfoot Crossroads crew,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't see anything. They said they heard something. They're like, "Can you hear that?" I'm like, "I don't hear anything." "You can't hear that?" I'm like, "I can't hear anything." So I don't know. We were up around Tishomingo in North Mississippi, kind of southwest of you guys, and there's tons of Indian mounds there. We were kind of walking in the pitch black dark. We were walking. Matter of fact, Larry and Debbie, and I think Bama was with them. Anyway, from the Natchez Trace Parkway, back to these roads we were on, it's probably 2.5 miles. Somebody let them off at the Natchez Trace Parkway, and they walked all the way across that giant field with all those Indian mounds,
yeah.
hoping to get some activity, because they say Bigfoot is more active, or has always traditionally been active around Indian mounds. I don't know what the theory is behind that, but so I went on that one. Then I was on the other one where I couldn't hear anything, and then I didn't go anymore because I don't have a heart for it. Even at the woodwalkers campouts, people go out at night. I think y'all do. Don't y'all go with that crew? And
Yes,
I don't go. I just sit around the campfire and talk to people and stuff like that. Plus, I go to bed early. You guys are out till 2 a.m. or even later. And there was you. You remember that one?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you remember that one where it was real cold? I think it was 2 years ago, 3 years
Freeze
ago.
out.
Yeah.
The freeze
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
I went to bed that I think it was the last night. I went to bed, crawled in my tent, got in my sleeping bag. I had a little buddy heater in there and a LP tank outside. And I was all warm and toasty, and I fell right to sleep. It was probably 9 or 10 o'clock. And the next morning, everybody was talking about all this activity that was going on right behind my tent. And I'm like, man, I could sleep through a atomic bomb. Are you kidding me? Bigfoot could reach in and grab me and I'd be gone. Y'all never even know. I'd probably sleep half the way up the mountain under his arm. So no, I don't do a lot of research and stuff. It doesn't interest me.
Right. We've had some experiences and stuff that kind of got me hooked a little bit more. But I'm my beliefs about it is kind of like Sherry's are. We're very similar about what we think.
We think about it.
Right.
Yeah. So
your intro is a Nephilim themed intro. So I'm guessing that's where you all lean.
yes, sir.
I do. I
Yes,
do.
we both do.
Everything I study about it takes me back to the Bible. I mean, we've talked about that on some of the shows we've done here with other people, and everybody doesn't think that way, but 2 and 2 just adds up to 4 to me, you know.
Yeah.
Have you done any study at all about it?
Just the stories I get, but very few people. Well, really, very few people that send me their experiences have an opinion one way or another. They just had an experience and they don't know what to make of it.
Mhm.
They know what they saw, or
Right.
they know what they heard, or some people know what they felt. But there's been maybe 20 or 30 that kind of lean toward that biblical,
Mm-hmm.
the Old Testament description of the giants and the, all that stuff. And so I don't know. I don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
If I had an opinion, I would say it's just flesh and blood creature, and there aren't very many of them. That's why we don't see many. But
What
my
do you think
opinion
about
is
all
it's
the
as
new
valid
sightings?
as yours.
I'm
Say
sorry.
again.
I'm sorry. I said, what do you think about all the news sightings and stuff like that where they supposed to had it on a big thing on YouTube about or Facebook about a bunch of sightings like in Ohio and stuff
Recently.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't follow it. I know that sounds crazy. I don't follow it
Right.
closely. I'll run across a few things, but I don't know. I just hear there's so much, there's so many opinions coming at you from so many different directions. It almost feels like this noise, No,
Right.
it's this. No, it's this. Oh, you're crazy. It's this. It's this. And people argue about it, and I don't know. It's like,
Well, have you ever seen anything, Cam? Really seen? See, that's the thing too.
Yeah.
I think once you start having things happen to you,
Yeah.
you kind of know. You feel like you kind of can link this to this and this. For me, the Bible part of it, the fall of the fallen angels and stuff, it links to everything in my genre that I research. So, but that doesn't mean I'm right and everybody else is wrong. It's just it's what everything links together that way for me.
And everybody has to come to their own conclusion
Yes.
about it. I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody what I think is what they should be thinking. They have a right to come up with their own thoughts about it.
so I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I have seen people show people I know and trust evidence, like the tracks that what's Mark Newell's The Beast? What's his group called?
Sawdust Beast.
Sawdust Beast. Him and Larry and that group, they found a bunch of tracks out when the water was low at LBL. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Yes.
Where did those come from? I mean, it's cold. It's in the middle of winter.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's huge barefoot tracks all
And
out in the
small
mud. And yeah, right.
They're small too.
Yeah.
See, that stuff intrigues me.
Yeah.
Right.
The Patterson Gimlin film still fascinates me.
Yeah.
And listening to Bob Gimlin talk about it, there is, he could be the biggest liar in the universe, but I don't think he is.
I don't think it's
No.
He's just too consistent. Every time he talks about it, it's the same exact story. And he's always just been just a calm presenter of what he saw.
mhm.
He's just an old cowboy, he's just a, so I've seen things, but not with my own eyes. And I did see one track one time. I think it was that weekend where that crew went through the Indian mounds, and it was cold. And there was a barefoot track, fresh, one track, one footprint in the middle of a mud road. But it was only about 8 inches long. It was like a young teenager's footprint. And it looked like a female's slender foot. And I thought, who in the world? Then I thought, well, I guess somebody could have stuck their foot out the door to, I don't know, pick up a dog or, and they're barefoot. They were in slippers. Maybe their foot came out of their slipper and they stepped in the mud or whatever. But so, no, I haven't seen any evidence at all that, and I want to. I'd love to see it.
You'll have to go out with us the next time you come to one. We'll take you out. Me and Donna and Billy will take you out. We seem to have we had some wild stuff happen up at I'm not gonna say the name of the place, but it's on one of the shows. But
Yeah, we had time lapse.
missing time and everything.
Yes.
It was weird. It was
Really?
wild. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's wild. I'll send you the link to the show and you can
Yeah.
watch it. Don't let me forget, Donna. But that was part of my question when you got started on this. Like, were you interested in this before? Did you always write the type of books that you do now, or did you write other genres and then start getting interested in this? Maybe by this is what you've always been interested in. Did you have?
Do you want to know the story how I got into it?
Yes.
Okay, so years ago, probably in 2012, 13, I had just moved to Mississippi. My grandkids were little. They lived in Arkansas. And I would go over and get them and bring them back here with me to stay for a week or whatever. And they were little, and I'd keep them occupied. I'd find something on my phone that they could listen to. And one day I came across Bigfoot Crossroads, Bear and Coonbo and Matt. And they thought Bear and Coonbo were the funniest things. And, Bear can tell a whopper of a story. So can Coonbo. And so every time I picked them up, Papa put on the Bigfoot show. And we'd listen to it all the way here. And it's 2.5 hour drive all the way back. 5 hours of Bigfoot Crossroads. Well, I didn't think, I just thought it was entertaining. I really wouldn't think about it. But then I can't, their name, they had a Facebook page and their name came up on Facebook, and I followed them. And I think it was a year later, they put out an invitation to do a camp out down in Grenada, North Grenada Lake. No, actually it was south end of Grenada Lake. And I told my wife, I said, I'd love to go on this camp out and meet these people. Because it was just a whim. I wasn't thinking Bigfoot or anything. I just wanted to meet the people. So I went down and camped with them for a weekend. And Larry and Mark were there. Trying to think. And Bear was there. And 2 or 3 others. Anyway, I can't remember their names, but they've been mentioned a lot. Here, I'll just say this and sum it up. I spent a whole weekend listening to the best stories I had ever heard.
Right.
All these people were great storytellers. So I came back. I got to know them a little bit. We exchanged phone numbers and those kind of things. And I didn't hear from them very much, and they didn't hear from me. but then I started thinking about doing a YouTube channel, and I was not going to do. I was thinking about doing something about the work I do around here, or tractors and chickens and
Yeah.
hunting and stuff like that. And then April said, "Well, when you read to the grandkids, they love it. Why don't you just read stories?" Because she didn't like me with my face on YouTube for some reason. I don't know why, but she thinks I'm goofy. I think that's what it is. But I said, "Okay, well, what kind of story would I tell?" And she's like, "I don't know. You were talking about those people down there in Grenada. What great stories those were. Why don't you tell Bigfoot stories?" And I said, "That's what I'll do." So about a week later, I wrote down a couple of stories. I wrote maybe 4 or 5 that people had told me. I told you iron workers out on the job site, they'll tell Bigfoot stories. I owned a steel fabrication plant for years in Arkansas. Guys in the break room, they talk about Bigfoot. So I've heard all these crazy truck drivers, and so I wrote 4 or 5, and the stories were only, my biggest video was only like 6 minutes long. It's a 6-minute story. And I just started throwing them out on YouTube. And after about the 6th or 8th one, something caught. The algorithm caught it. I can show you the graph now. It's never been higher than that day. I think it hit it one time again back in 22 as far as views in one day. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't even looking at my analytics. I was just putting videos out and forgetting about it. Mm-hmm. And when I started it, I thought, it'd be cool if I could get 1,000 subscribers and get maybe 5,000 to 10,000 views per video, which to me was huge. I was getting that within 2 months. Mm. And then they invited me. I didn't even know you could get paid on YouTube. And I got this email saying, "Hey, we're inviting you to join the YouTube partner program," or whatever. So, and I didn't even know that was the way you got paid, but I went ahead and joined. And then they took me to AdSense, and I was typing in my social security number, all the tax stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, this is to get paid." So about 2 months later, I got my first payment. It was between $1,500 and $1,600. And I never forget. I told April, I said, "Would you look at this?" And so I kind of, that was going to pay my mortgage and I think a car payment,
Yeah.
Just telling Bigfoot stories. What? So I started putting a little more effort. I bought microphones. I tried to get better. I thought, well, if this is going to be like this, then I need to really put some effort into it. So I spent a fortune on recording devices, and I learned how to do all the Adobe Suite, Audition, Premiere Pro, After Effects, all that kind of stuff. And I just kept doing it. And the channel peaked in probably late 22, early 23. And since then, it's been on a decline. And it's just been the wildest ride. But that's how I got into telling stories. There was no plan behind it. It was just like, whoa, wait a minute. I got something here. Yeah. I'm just going to keep doing it because. So, and then just out of the blue, about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, April and I are down in New Albany. We're eating at Zaxby's on a Sunday afternoon. And I get this email and it says, "Your channel is no longer eligible to be monetized." And I showed it to her and she said, "What?" And she goes, "Are you worried about that?" And I said, "I'm not worried about it. It's going to be what it's going to be, And so I got back to the office. I was trying to look up as much as I could. I was a little upset at first. I wasn't showing it around her, but am I talking too much?
No.
No.
So I started looking it up and I thought, okay, there's purging thousands of channels. It's not just me. I had not done anything against their policies. They just changed their policies on me and I didn't fit it. My channel didn't fit it. And so like I said before, I don't look at it as something bad. I look at it as I'm really excited about starting something new and fresh, and it's still going to be storytelling. It's still going to be my voice. But that's how I did it. That's the whole story behind. So the interest was never in Bigfoot. It was just in the stories.
And keeping the grandkids occupied.
Yeah.
Well, you need to thank your grandkids then, because they've made you.
I haven't even monetized this one or anything yet. I didn't know that much about it, and I'm like you. That wasn't what I got into it for, but I may do it later on or something. But no, that's really,
I can't read that comment.
You can't see it.
I can't. It's so small. I can't read it.
Oh, well, it's about it's kind of.
I see it.
Yeah. Now, Donna and Billy and I had a loss of time. And
yeah, that's what she's asking about. And I told her we would check and see if they ran through that area and let her know.
That's what we need to do because I have no idea.
I mean, that's a good idea to thank you for giving us that idea.
Now, how do I get it off of there? Where's the thing to get it off?
I'll get it for you, sis.
It added
I got you.
We don't know, but we'll check on that and see. You know, it's not something we can prove, but the fault lines, you know, they say that they are a factor in where they seem to be located. So we don't know for sure, but we can always look and see the
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard anything about fault lines. So y'all have one running through Appalachia, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we live on the New Madrid Fault.
Yeah.
I'm further away from it than I've ever been, but I think if it ever collapses, we're going to feel it over here in North Mississippi.
I think so too. That's things like, you know, the ancestors didn't even know about, you know, when they lived here. You know, if anything had happened during that time, what would they have thought it was?
Yeah.
And that might be something that they're drawn to too. You never know.
1812, 1813, 14, we had that giant earthquake here. And they say it was unbelievable. That's what formed Reelfoot Lake and a bunch of lakes up and down the Delta on the Tennessee side and the Arkansas side.
Also made the Mississippi run backwards. Wasn't it that time then?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
That's a very interesting story to read.
What year was it?
Early 1800s. I want to say 1812, 13, 14, somewhere in there.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. See, y'all get history lessons and everything with us.
Well, you've been, and to us, you are a storyteller. I know we had one of our grandmothers. She would sit and tell stories a lot. You know, when we would, all the kids would be together and stuff. And then I started doing it. I was the oldest of 5 kids, and when Mama was real busy, I would get the kids all together in a circle, and I'd read them stories from books and things. But I didn't have this kind of stories to tell at the time. But did you have anybody that was like a storyteller to you, told you a lot of stories?
Well, yes, but I didn't know it at the time. I didn't think, oh, these are great stories. I was young boy. But both my grandfathers, especially on my mother's side, would tell unbelievable stories. Just unbelievable. And these were true stories about things they did when they were younger. And it's like, I remember, I shouldn't tell the story here, but
yeah, you should.
They lived up in the hills in Middle Tennessee. around Rock Island, McMinnville, Campaign, that area. And they were timber people, they were timber cutters, and they were fighters, all the brothers and cousins and friends and all those things. They were just a rough group of people. And all the stories my grandfather would tell me, I mean, I can remember every one of them. I'll tell you one. So I probably won't get this right. But there had been a long night of drinking. Now, this was probably in the mid-1930s. It was really cold. They had been drinking. Everybody was drunk. They went to my grandfather's house. Apparently, he was a teenager, older teenager. Apparently, his mom and dad weren't there or something. Anyway, they were at a cousin's house. I don't remember, but they're all in there. And this one cousin passes out and falls back and hits his head on the back of the edge of the fireplace hearth. Mm-hmm. They had a brick or stone hearth there, and he busted his head open, and he's knocked out. And so they thought it would be fun. Somebody was cleaning chickens. They were going to cook chickens. So they were cleaning chickens, getting ready to fry them or cook them or roast them or something. And so they took a big wad of chicken guts and put it in a plate, and they took this cousin and they set him up at the table and mashed his face down in them.
Oh,
and told him. Now, to hear my grandfather tell it, it's hysterical, because he would be laughing while he's telling this, but he woke up after being passed out probably for hours, probably the next morning, and had all these chicken guts stuck to his face. And he's like, what is going on here? And they said, man, you've been gobbling them chicken guts for 2 hours before you passed out. Of course, he went outside and he threw up and this kind of thing. But it's story after story after story just like that. And me and my brother and my cousins, we'd all sit around listening to Granddaddy tell those stories. And, they weren't goody two shoes kind of people. And the stories of the fights and the fighting, and it's like fighting was just something they did for, like my generation might go out and pitch baseball. Fighting it's crazy. I remember asking him, Granddaddy, did you really fight that much? Oh, we fought every week. We're fighting somebody every week. I'm like, okay. And I always wondered if there was any anger involved, or did they just say, hey, let's fight? I would say, hey, grab your mitt. Let's go throw the baseball, So anyway.
I think it was a wrestling contest. A lot of it.
So yes, I had one or two good storytellers, but I didn't know it at the time, and I didn't appreciate it like I probably should have.
Yes.
And I wish I'd have had a recorder to record them, tell the stories, and there's probably 50 more that if I thought real hard, I could remember them. And April and I were driving home. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much.
No, you go ahead.
We had to go to Lowe's today to get some. I just finished up an addition onto our chicken coop. Is my face red? I'm probably sunburned. I've been up on the roof, screwing down the roof all day. But we had to go to Lowe's. Yeah, we had to go to Lowe's, and we were coming back. And for some reason, she said, I wonder if our kids will remember us. I wonder if we left such a mark on them that they'll think fondly of us after we're gone. And I'm like, sure, of course. I think they'll talk about us and think about us. But if you think about it, all it takes is one generation and you're forgotten forever. Even our memory does not last more than maybe to our grandkids, if, we were young enough and they were young enough, they could remember some of the things we did.
Hmm.
But past the grandchildren, do you know your great great granddaddy? Do you even know what his name was?
Nope.
So all these stories that are told are forgotten. Who's going to tell those stories after I'm gone? Like that
Right.
story I just told you about Denny and the chicken guts, So that's why I always think if somebody has with technology today, if there's somebody in your life who tells good stories, man, just even if you have to sneak a mic under their leg or something, just record those stories or write them down,
Yeah.
So anyway,
It makes a lot of sense.
lot of things come into my mind as you guys talk.
I think for us, it's our grandparents, and but we didn't. I remember going to my great grandmother's house on my grandmother's side, and I can remember her and my great grandfather, but it was very limited, because they were so old at the time, and they didn't live. Wasn't that far away, about an hour, but at that time, an hour is a long time. You'd have to travel to get anywhere, and but we were fortunate enough to know our grandparents well.
Yeah. But that's like I tell my grandkids all the time and stuff. I said we'll talk about like our mom and dad and my grandparents and stuff like that. And I told him, I said, "No, listen." I said, "The reason I'm telling you this," I said, "because as long as you're talking about them, you're keeping their memory alive."
Yes. Yeah.
And I said, "Always try to remember these and try to at least tell some stories." Because I'm like you, I was thinking the same thing. Once you're gone, you're gone.
Right.
Next generation or so, But we talk about our grandparents and uh, my aunts, our great aunts and uncles and stuff. I'll tell them stories about them, and they're sitting there listening. So hopefully it'll be passed on. And like my daughter passed, they knew her for as long as they've been born, and so they've got stories about her. And I told them, I said it's okay to talk about her or anybody. I said because to me it's keeping their
Yeah.
memory alive. I said
Yeah.
so talk. Yeah, it's gonna hurt, but talk.
Yes. I agree 100%.
And we're blessed with having video and stuff that they didn't have in the past either,
Yeah.
pictures and video and stuff,
Yeah.
which makes it a lot different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
It's like my grandparents, all we have is black and whites. They came up during the Depression, and I remember so many things about their eating habits and their, just they wouldn't spend money on anything, anything.
Yeah.
And April and I talk. We're like, oh, my grandmother would have a fit if she saw what April spent at the grocery store just last week.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I actually went and got a metal dipper. Do you remember when I was growing up, like our grandparents or aunts and uncles, they would have well water that they drew or rainwater, either one, and they'd have it sitting in a barrel there, and you'd have a metal dipper and how cold that water tasted and everything. Well, I went and bought one and was showing the grandkids, and they were like, totally amazed. They said, "I'm drinking the same water out of this glass here, and it doesn't taste as good or as cold as it does out of that metal dipper." And I said, "No, it don't." I said, "I'm just telling you." So, little things like that, I like to show them the difference.
There's a story somebody told me about my family that is hard to believe. But my grandfather's father, everybody called him Babe. He was the man who owned the timber company that went in and got the timber. And back then they used mules, and they didn't have all this big heavy equipment. But when he was a baby, his parents were killed, and he was small, and he had several older brothers and sisters, and they raised him up, and they took care of everything. And at about I think it was about the time he was to register for school. They were going to send him to school.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know his name. There was no record of his name. They just called him Babe.
Oh no.
So back then, this was probably in the 1910s, maybe. But during those times, there would be a horse drawn wagon, and they were panhandlers. They sell pots and pans, and you know, I don't know if y'all remember like Charles Chips. They drive around and you could buy, you know, and some of the ice cream trucks was kind of the same way, but
Avon did too. Avon went around.
But on the side of this man's wagon, it was like a box wagon, kind of like your camper, but it was a and it, you know, it had this. The person that my uncle told me this story, and this would be about his grandfather. There's an arched name. My grandfather's name was Newton, Newton. Everybody called him Newt. And that was that guy's name that was the panhandler. So when they registered my grandfather's father for school, they just called him Newton. And his last name was McWhirter. And they sent him to school. And that was his name forever. That wasn't his given name, but that's what they named him. So he was, and so his son was named that, and his grandson was named that. My uncle, his first name is Newton. Everybody calls him Mac, but his name, you know, I'm not going to tell you his whole name. He's got a middle name too, but they all have this. So you got the first, the second, and the third, all from a name off of the side of a panhandler's wagon. That's a story.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at the chat. Everybody's getting real nostalgic there. It's interesting. Let me check my notes and make sure I got.
Yeah, I said from a well, but I meant from spring water and stuff. Sometimes I get overexcited and can't think of what I'm trying to say, so I'll just say whatever. You ever do that, Cam?
Yes. My wife does that a lot. She'll ask me a question and I don't have any idea what she's asking me. Like, we've been working on this chicken coop. It's not a big addition, and I've just been piddling with it. You know, like I've spent one morning, I dug all the post holes and set the posts. Then the next day I'd frame out the girts and the wainscot. Then the next day we'd put up some wire. We're just taking our time with it. I finally got the roof on it. She's asking me, how long did you cut that thing? I'm like, what thing? That thing right there. She's pointing at the roof. Well, there's wood, there's posts, there's tons of things in there that have a dimension on them, but I don't know what she's talking about. And of course, I'm the idiot because I don't know what she's talking about. So my wife blurts out things when she should say what she meant was the R panels I'll put on the roof. She wanted to know what length I had cut them, and well, that's all she had to say. What length did you cut the roof panels? I would know the answer to that. You know.
Oh yeah.
That's not the way she thinks. She just blurts things out.
She know what they're called.
Well, no, we actually know what they're called. It's just at the moment while you're talking, your mind just goes bumfuzzle.
Well, you know, mine does that. By the time I get one thing done, my mind's done on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and I just and it's not dementia type stuff. It's just focus stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm just interested in too many different things. What it is.
So it's your fault.
Yes, yeah, I'd say that's
no,
true.
I'm saying it's your fault that I'm like this.
Oh, okay. What about, have you done anything, any stories that I've missed or something, anything on UFOs and aliens, Cam?
Yeah, I've done a bunch.
I must have missed those.
Well, I mean, I've got 1,000 videos up, so it's, you know, and they're kind of sprinkled in with the other Bigfoot stuff. So, but the last 3 podcasts I put up, I did a poltergeist story, a Black Panther story, UFOs. Trying to think of what that. Anyway, I'm trying to do now that I'm not locked into YouTube anymore and the Bigfoot crew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to vary the stories to stuff that I'm interested in, which to me, the UFO stuff's interesting to me. We've
Well,
talked
real.
about yeah.
It's real. I have seen that stuff.
We've talked about, my disinterest in Bigfoot other than the stories, but I'm actually interested in, like, I'm reading chapters now out of a book called Paranormal Bedtime Stories. There's a guy named Todd Chapman who wrote the book. He's got 5 volumes out. It is the best little book that I think I've ever picked up, because the chapters are only 5 or 6 pages long, and you can lay in bed at night and just read through them. And by the time if you're like me, if you start reading at night, it puts me to sleep. And but you can actually finish a story and then lay your head down and go to sleep.
It's not. They're not so long.
Yeah, but his he does a lot of ghost stuff. He was I don't know why I got bugs flying up my nose or something here. But he was a tour guide for a paranormal tour company out in Arizona, I think, or New Mexico. I'm not sure exactly where he was. He is the nicest guy. He's such a nice man. And he has sent me dozens of stories. And I told him, I said, man, you got to put these in a book. You got to make a book out of these. You've got so many. Because being a tour guide and they would go out to places like, not the actual Skinwalker Ranch, but there's a lot of places like that out in the West. They've had so many experiences out there with demonic entities, UFOs, that people would pay him to take them out there to experience these things. I don't want anything to do with demons. I wouldn't go. Of course, we don't know exactly what entities they're dealing with, but
yeah,
he thinks they're demonic. And Bigfoot and Dogman, they have all kind of experiences, and all those stories are in that book. But so I'm doing his stories about every other. I think the 4th or 5th podcast back, I did 5 stories out of that book. They're all so good. They're just great stories. So yes, I do UFO alien kind of stuff too.
What's
Yes.
the name of the book again?
Paranormal Bedtime Stories.
Paranormal.
And they really are bedtime stories. And his name is Todd, Todd Chapman, Chapman.
Okay.
But you can only get them in paperback. He won't do them on Kindle. He wants the book in your hand. It's more expensive than, Kindle. You just kind of rent it.
Yeah.
But he wants the book in your hand, and he's got 5 books, and they're thick books, just chock full of stories like that. Bigfoot stories, Dogman stories. And these are secondhand stories people tell him when he would. I mean, you just have to read a couple and you kind of get the vibe of where he's getting them and, what's going on. But he pays really close attention to what people say. And then when he gets home at night, he writes it down. Sometimes he records them. He'll ask them, can I record you? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And fascinating stuff.
If you have time, could you make me a list of the things you kind of brought up, like the books and stuff like that? And I'll post it on here for everybody. And I was trying to write some down, but I don't know if I got it all or not. And a list of all of your podcasts and stuff, so we can post all of that at one time. I mean, we never get time.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I don't have any books published. The only thing I have published that I've written is Steve Lilly. That's more than a novel, but they're just short stories. There's 20 of them up right now. So
if you all haven't heard this or heard the stories told or read the books, you need to do the Steve Lilly stuff. It is.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
It's good. It's really good. But I'd like to have a list kind of, and that one that you just brought up too, the Todd Chapman. We'll put it up for everybody to.
You should buy his book just because he is such a sweet man. He is the nicest guy. He's invited me out. I think they live in New Mexico now. And I think he just got married. He's middle-aged, probably in his late 40s. He's like, man, I want you to come out here and see me. And I want my motorcycle sitting right back over there. Hopefully sometime this summer, I'm going to get to jump on that bike and take a week and just go somewhere. You know, I'm hoping. Never works out. Yeah. I'm going to go see him. Yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Does your wife ride the motorcycle with you? I've never seen her on there.
No.
I didn't
she
think
will
she
not.
did.
No. She doesn't even like me riding it, but, you know.
Yeah. They make me nervous with people. I mean, I don't care to ride them. I'd rather do dirt biking than out there with all that traffic. But I guess it's just because, you know, you can get hurt so easy on them, especially out in the traffic. But so I understand why she worries.
Yeah, about 10 years ago, my youngest daughter, was riding a motorcycle and had a bad wreck. Her transmission locked up. Was no fault of hers. And, I mean, she's got a really story about that, and hopefully we're going to have her on the show.
Yeah, we need to do that, Don. I forgot about that.
And
I'd like to hear that.
But, I mean, there's a lot of things that happened. I'm not going to get too much away, but I just thank God she's still here. And then less than a year after that, we got our youngest granddaughter. So I told her, I said, you was meant to be here one way or the other.
So you mean a lot happened, like miracle kind of stuff?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's another show, Dawn. I need to write that down because I've got 2 or 3 of those myself. And let me write that. Every pen I keep picking up is that dry. And I've got about 50 over here.
Well, you're calmer than you usually are, so I'm proud of you. You're not jumping around.
Well, this has been enjoyable. Do a show on miracles. We'll see. We'll tell everybody in the
there's a chicken.
The chat that when we do it, you know, we'll send them a link if they've got any miracle stories to tell.
Right.
Yeah. Miracle stories are awesome.
They are.
I love them.
Yes, I do too. But I mean, what I was getting at is I love motorcycles too. But after that, I kind of backed off and I told her, I said, please don't ever get another one. I said, you just took 10 years off my life.
I'm going to stick it right there so I don't lose that.
I like to ride anything on 2 wheels, bicycles. I bought an electric bike last year. I love riding that thing. I've always been that way since I was a little boy. Anything on 2 wheels, I love to ride it. Motorcycles, anything. So,
do you know about the Virginia Creeper Trail? Have you ever heard of it? We used to go ride that every year. It's bikes, and if you go and you can rent the bike there, take your own. They haul you up the top of the mountain, and you ride down. It's an all-day thing. But if you do go don't do the one that starts down and goes through town. Don't do that part of it. The lower part, do the upper part, and it's all that coming down the mountain stuff, you know. And we need to go do that. Went there a while because the kids are big enough to do it now. But it's a lot of fun. The Virginia Creeper Trail.
So they take you to the top, and you just coast all the way down.
Right, and you come right back out right where you parked. You know, there's a lot of places that rent bikes. And they'll take you up, and you know, like I said, in your car's there, and
but you can bring your own bike too.
You can bring your own bike, and they charge less just to haul you up there. You know, but it's a lot of fun, especially in the fall.
That sounds fun. Yeah,
it is. You could get down it quicker, but we stop and you know get in the water a little bit and cool off, and you know, and just spend all day. We hadn't done it in 2 or 3 years. We got to go back before I get too old.
That sounds fun.
It is fun.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, anybody in chat, the Virginia Creeper Trail, check it out if you're anywhere close to there. I can't think of the actual name of the town that it's in. It's a small town.
Yeah, I don't remember the name
but
of it.
Probably do a search and find it.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
find
yeah,
it.
you could.
But do the I can even send you the name of the group that we use because I save all that information. But it's a lot of fun, and little kids can do it too. You know, it's not like people are just flying down through there because it's kind of a rough trail with the rocks and stuff. You know, not bad. I mean, you got some places you can go, but little kids can do it with training wheels. You know what I'm saying? If you've got time, to let them go and just take, put those training wheels on, and let them ride, and they'll enjoy it. But we get in the water and cool off too if it's hot. So we usually wear our bathing suits on under our clothes, and then we'll get in the water and cool off if it's real hot.
Abington, Virginia, Sherry.
That's right, Billy. Thank you,
Billy.
Thank you. Yeah, has anybody got any questions? Cam was so worried about doing this podcast. Y'all don't know. He thinks he's not interesting. And I said, really? Because, everybody thinks it, and we really enjoyed it. I hope y'all have too.
Yes, we have.
And I'm sure
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. But I'm sure you have even a lot more things to tell than this. We may have to do a part 2. This one went so well.
He's sitting there.
I'll only do it for you. I'll only do it for you, girls.
Okay.
I don't do this stuff anymore, and I told you. But Sherry and her family and Donna and everybody y'all are just good people.
Well,
Every time I show up and I see you walking, I'm just like, oh, it just lifts my spirit when we go to the camp outs and you're there. And I always tell April how nice everybody is, and
she'd enjoy it. Even if she doesn't like camping, she'd enjoy the trip. I mean,
yeah.
A lot of people don't realize it's not just Bigfoot stuff. It's just meeting people, and I think we need to do a story. That's another thing too that I learned from this. We need to do a storytelling night. Like at the fire. We've done a little bit of it, but it's mostly just been Bigfoot stuff. We need to do a anything goes. Like if you got any stories passed down, that'd be really good. The next one.
Yeah. Yep. It's a lot of fun, and I'm gonna try to make every one of them. We have dogs, so that's why she would come, but
I tried to put. There's a question. Bigfoot fan 33. They had a lot of nice things to say tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. She's wanting to know if you do guest on any other shows. We have Pop's panel, and would love to have you on with us.
Oh, I try not to. I just really try not to. I've turned down a few, and I know Sherry and Donna, and I've spent weekends camping with their families for 2 or 3 years, and I just know them. And just send me an email and we'll talk. I don't want to sound like I'm too good to be on somebody's show. I just don't like doing these. That's the truth. I just don't like going on live streams.
He thinks boring.
Yeah, because I have nothing interesting to say about Bigfoot. Just think of.
But it's not
everything I've said here. Everything I've said here has nothing to do with Bigfoot.
Right.
And all these shows are Bigfoot related, and they'll always ask me, well, how did you? I was glad to tell you how I got started in the channel, but what's your favorite story? What's the scariest story? What's the most unbelievable story? And I do so many of them. It's hard to remember even one. I know that sounds crazy, but
it doesn't to me.
Yeah, it's like they all run together.
You get so many of them.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but that's fine. But I've got 1,000 of them on deck, and I'm gonna get to every one of them. So,
are you planning on doing any more collaborations with D.A. Roberts?
Yeah, that was one of my questions with D.A. Roberts.
I've got a wild hunt book It's not by DA. It's by one of his buddies that I've agreed to do, but I don't have any place to put it now.
Okay.
I mean, the deal is I make with authors is I'll narrate this book for you and you don't pay me a penny. You let me earn my money off that revenue split with YouTube, but now I don't have YouTube.
Right.
I'm not, so I don't have any way to get paid for that time. If I was retired and didn't have anything to do, I'd probably just do it for the fun of it.
Oh
But
yeah.
I still work, and to record one of those books, it's 80 hours, 2 solid 40-hour weeks of work. And I can't afford to not get paid for that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So
Understandable.
I may put one out on, Spotify, Apple, and see what kind of interest that generates just to see. But if I do it, it'll probably be later this summer. So I'm just trying to make the best use of my time
Right.
in these I'm at the end of my working years, 64, 5, 6, 7 more years, I'm going to hang it up. And so,
I just
I mean,
retired.
I could technically retire now, but I'd starve. So, that Social Security is like, yeah. So it's like, I got to keep working. Hopefully I don't get sick, but I just want to make the best use of my time and do what I want to do and try to somehow get rewarded for it monetarily. And at the same time, do my regular job. It's just, that takes up a lot of my time. So,
You're
to
right,
answer your
Bobby.
question, yeah, I'm going to do another one. I just don't know when, because
Okay.
those books are so fun.
Okay. Anybody got anything else? Cam, ladies, please send Gary Cam's email so we can talk him into doing. What kind of contact do you want to? They want to try to convince you to do that show, Cam. Can you see that? Can you email? Give them the email.
They want my email.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna try to talk you into doing college show.
Yeah, it's a dixiecryptid@gmail.com. And if they didn't write that down, it's in the description of every video I've ever done.
Okay.
dixiecryptid@gmail.com.
Okay. I hope you got that, Cindy. Oh.
There's something.
Well, we got a comment right here. Wild Bill says, "We all love you, Cam," and he's right.
I love you guys too. Thank you.
You need to put a plug in about all your books and stuff, and real quick, and where they're available. And
Well, I don't have any books. That's what I was telling you. I've not published a book, but they're all in podcast. I write them. I just don't put them out in print.
Not the written book. I mean, like your Steve Lilly stories and things like that.
Yeah, I think we talked about that earlier. Steve Lilly Journals on YouTube, the Steve Lilly Journals on Spotify, Apple, Podbean.
Yeah.
They're also on Audible, Amazon Music. You can get podcasts just about anywhere. So depending on what you want to listen to, if you just want to listen to just fun or exciting stories about, paranormal things, cryptid things, look up What If It's True podcast. If you want to hear some really crazy fiction, look up the Steve Lilly Journals, YouTube, or on the podcast network. That's pretty much all I do. I mean, that's about it.
Okay. And I'm just going to tell everybody right quick, don't forget the Oddcast podcast, Off the Record, be on after we get off from here, the way I understood.
I think it come out 7, I think.
So don't forget to give them a look-see. They're good people. Chad and Erica, we love them to death. And Gary, bless your heart. thanks everybody for watching. And if you don't mind, please hit the like button and share and comment, subscribe.
Yeah,
We'd love for you too.
it doesn't help us as much.
No.
It just gets the show out to other people. So
Exactly.
you know,
We're not wanting any money. We
Yeah.
just want to get this out.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stay on cam, please. I'm gonna end the stream and then do the. I got to change.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, and we thank
Yes.
Cam a lot for doing the show. We enjoyed it, and we really appreciate all of y'all for being here too. You got anything else,
Yes.
Donna?
Thank you. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, everybody. We love you and God bless you. Have a wonderful Sunday evening.
Okay.
Little bit of beep, 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 that's a monster meter. I'm a southern Appalachian Sasquatch seeker. Looking in a cave, looking in a hollow, looking on a mountain, looking in the water. Little bit of beep, 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 that's a monster meter. I'm a southern Appalachian Sasquatch seeker. We're going seeking, gonna see what we can find, gonna look high and low and around, and maybe we'll find just what we're looking for. It don't matter if it's night or day, rain or shine, we won't stop till we find just what we're looking for. Some say they might be the devil, others say they're the masters of the woods. Well, I don't know and I don't care, but I'll tell you this, I know the real. When we hear that howl as it's coming closer, and we feel the thunder of the steps, will we look it face to face, or will we just run? Some say they might be the devil, others say they're the masters of the woods. Well, I don't know and I don't care, but I'll tell you this, I know they're real. When we hear that howl as it's coming closer, and we feel the thunder of the steps, will we look it face to face, or will we just run?